Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create iOS plugin to increase or decrease volume for iOS device in Godot game engine. So let's get started. We will be using the Swift Godot plugin, for which you are able to see the documentation. Based on this documentation I have created a cheat sheet, so don't get confused, it's basically the same. And you require a macOS and you require Xcode installed, which you can do install it from the Apple App Store. uh, and here I have just created one empty folder named Godot. You don't have to create it, it is just for organization purpose, so feel free to organize the project however you feel like. It's just that at the end of this tutorial there will be 3 different projects, that's why I have created this parent folder. So just open Xcode, just click on file, new, and click on package. Then select multi-platform, select library, click next again. Then here select Godot and click on create. So I have created our library. I have given it as just my library name. You can give it whatever name you feel like, but it's important you remember this name because this name will be used in a lot other places as well. Now first, at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot still doesn't support Swift version 6, so I can change this version to 5.10. But you can check it on GitHub for Swift Godot repository if it still supports Swift version 6 or Swift version 6 and above or not. Then if you come to the documentation, here you can see we have already done all the steps. Now we need to add this dependency section, so you can just copy this, or I can just copy it from my cheat sheet as well. It's more or less the same, it is same thing. After the products array we have to add it, so I'll just paste it over here. Now you just have to press Command S, which will help us to automatically download the dependency of Swift Godot using Swift Package Manager. So here you can see on the left hand side it has downloaded it for me. It might take a minute or so for you depending on your network connection, so just be patient. After that we have to add this platform iOS. So if you scroll down, here you can see we have added platform macOS, but we require platform iOS, so I'll just paste it over here. Now the minimum deployment target I have kept it as version 17 because I was facing issues on version 16 and below for iOS while compiling Swift Godot, that's why I've kept it as 17. Then we also need to add this type dynamic. So if you scroll down, here you can see they have added this type dynamic. So after library name I'll just paste it over here. Then we need to add this dependency section as well, so again I'll just copy this, and if you scroll down here you can see after target name they have added this dependency section. So after target name I'll add a comma and I'll just paste this. I'll just improve the indentation a little bit, you don't have to do it. Then you just go to my library.swift file, and inside this what I'll do is I have already written the code inside one of my practice projects, so I'll just copy it from there. Just open this, just copy this, okay, and I'll paste it over here. Then as you can see I have imported UIKit, Swift Godot media player. You might see a lot of errors in this files, something like this. There could be more error for you as well. Ignore those errors because Swift Godot does not play nicely with Xcode. Now this is boilerplate code which you have to write, and this should be your own library name. Then here we annotate this with @main actor because it runs on a main thread, and @Godot, so we can call this particular file or class from GDScript side. Then we just create this av audio session dot shared instance dot output volume to get the current volume. Then here I have created two methods, increase volume and decrease volume. So while increasing the volume, if the volume is less than 1, then only increase it by 0.1, and then we just do mp volume view dot set volume self dot volume. Now this set volume method we have created it by ourselves. So here as you can see I have created an extension method called set volume. Then inside that we just initialize this mp volume view. Then we just do volume view dot subviews dot first as UI slider, and then on the main thread we just update the volume. value of our slider based on the volume which we increment by or decrement by. Same for decrease as well. Again, we are marking this method as @callable so that they can be called from GDScript side. So for decrease, if the volume is greater than 0, then only we can decrease it, and again set the volume using the set volume method. Then we need to create a build.sh file. Now you can create this build.sh file from Xcode as well. I am more comfortable creating this file from VS Code. So what I'll do is I'll just open the Godot folder which we have created, the entire Godot folder inside VS Code. Okay, I'll just paste my cheat sheet as well over here, and inside this my library I will just create one file called build.sh. Feel free to use whatever ID you prefer. Okay, I'm just more comfortable with VS Code. Then you have to go to this particular URL, so I'll just open that URL. So from this URL we have to copy this build.sh file. So I'll just copy everything and I'll paste it inside this build.sh. Okay, then just scroll up at the very top, and here you just have to replace this with your own library name. So in our case it is just my library. Okay, and we also need to add this skip macro validation / as well. So I'll just add this over here, then press Command S to save it. Okay, once that is done, you can just cd to your library inside your terminal. So I can just cd it like this. Okay, then I can just run this command. Then we need to run a command to generate the framework folders. Now I'm not planning to deploy this app to Apple App Store, so I can just generate the debug frameworks. But if you want, you can generate release framework as well by just replacing the debug word with release. But for now I'll just generate debug frameworks. Now this will take a bit of time. In the meantime, you can just open Godot game engine and you can just click on create, browse to the Godot folder which we have created. I'll just create a project. I'll click on create and edit. Then I'll just click on project, export, add iOS, click on fix import, and here you will have to enter your App Store team ID. So to get your App Store team ID, you can just go to this specific URL which I have written over here. I'll enter my App Store team ID later on, but make sure you enter yours now only, because otherwise you won't be able to export your project. Then the next thing is just have to scroll down, and inside bundle identifier you can enter just com dot your company name dot your app name. So I'll just enter something random, click enter, close this, then create a 2D scene. Inside this I'll just create 2 buttons. Okay, and I'll just create these 2 buttons. I'll just do Shift D again. Okay, and create this button as well. And for first button I can just name it as increase, and second is decrease. I will quickly save this, Command S, save it. I'll just run this so that my current scene is selected. Then I will just attach one script to this. Then I will go to this button, I will go to the node, I will add one press signal to this. Then I will go to the second button, I will add press signal to this as well. Okay, so this is done. Next we need to create one bin folder. So I'll just create this bin folder over here. Inside this we need to create a file inside the bin folder. So again I'll just make use of VS Code for that. So the file name should be whatever is your library name .gd extension. So here is my Godot project, right? So inside the bin folder I'll just create this file. Now if you try to open this file from Godot game engine, you won't be able to open it. I don't know why. That's why again I'm using VS Code. So inside this .gd extension file, again we have to just copy this code and paste it over here. So again, if you are using the release folder, release framework, you will have to replace this debug as well as this debug with release. But for me debug is fine for now. Then again I'll just cheat a little bit. I need to copy some code inside our GD script file. So firstly I will just copy this, uh, paste this particular line of code. Oh, sorry, paste this command V. Okay, so we need to first create a variable, uh, and we need to initialize it inside the ready function. So again I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now we don't require any signal, so I can just remove this. Signal is basically for sending data from native iOS side to Godot side, but I'm not sending any data as such. Now for the first button press, we just need to call the increase volume method, and for the second button press we need to call the decrease volume method. So I'll just paste it over here. I'll do command S. Then if you go to terminal, here you can see it has build it for us successfully. So you can just go to your library folder, uh, go to bin iOS and copy these two .framework folders. Then we just go back to my Godot project bin and just paste it over here. Then we need to create one folder name iOS. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that once we export things from Godot game engine, it will create lot of files. That's why I've created a separate folder for this. Then coming back to Godot game engine, make sure you save everything by pressing command S. Then just do project, export, click on export project, select the iOS folder and then click on save. Let's just wait for this to finish. Alright, so my project was exported successfully. Then what you will have to do is you just have to go to the iOS folder, double click on this .xcode proj file. It will automatically open it for you in Xcode. Now you need to run this output on a real device by pressing on this run button. I have already ran it. Make sure you run it on a real device. It will not work on the simulator because of some graphics cards thing. Now I will let me just mirror my device. Okay, so here I'm mirroring my device. Now I'm running it in the debug mode, that's why it takes time. Now we also need to click on continue. Sometimes it does pop up with this thing, sometimes it doesn't. I think it failed. Okay, I need to run it again. I mean, this happens quite often whenever I try to run the application for the very first time. I don't know whether this is a Godot game engine bug or whether this is an Xcode bug. I think it is an Xcode bug. But yeah, anyways, let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so here you can see we have these two buttons. Now I will show you the current volume. So here you can see the volume level is this much. I think we have just like disabled the volume audio, maybe that's why it is showing like this. Let's see. Like, it works fine because I'm mirroring my device, that's why I think so. Let me increase it. Okay, did it increase? I think so, it's because of this. Let me just, okay, let's try now. Okay, I think so because I'm mirroring my device, that's why it is not working out. But trust me, this does work. It's just that I don't know how to like make this work when mirroring my device as well. So I'll just stop mirroring. I know you guys can't see it now, but yeah, now I'm able to see the volume thing. For some reason when I'm mirroring my device, I think maybe because I'm giving preference to capturing my audio which is from my Mac audio, that's why it is not showing the iPad audio or the iOS device audio. But if I now I'm able to see the audio again. Sorry, I can't really show it to you, but when I click on increase, the volume does increase, and if I click on decrease, the volume does decrease. So yeah, it does definitely work. Sorry about that, I'm not able to show it to you, but just test it on your device, it will work. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.